simple on or off kind of thing. Okay? So that's why it's under setup.
Where is it in setup? Oh, click.
Okay? That's the key for all of these, because Avid questions, they like to ask you these really oddball kind of questions. Under which menu is this? Under which menu is that? And you can't open the menu, obviously, when
I
you're taking
like
the
those
test.
options because it teaches you how the program actually the logic of it instead of memorizing of it if you understand it.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. Like,
Yeah.
that's the logic of it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say that in the book anywhere, but that's the logic of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
in the test, it's not like multiple choice for the Avid test.
It is multiple choice.
The same exact what's in the book, that the practice and practice.
Yes, it is in the
Oh,
book.
okay, so I
Yeah.
just remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they're not mentioning it in the book,
It's just hard to memorize a 300-page book, you know, let's be honest. Actually, too.
I tell them,
It's
if
not
they
easy.
don't mention it in the books, they assume that after covering all the material, we must form this understanding ourselves, right?
They just figure you should know it somehow.
But if it's not in the book,
It's in the book. Everything is in the book. Like, you know, oh, this is under this menu. This is under that menu.
no, the logic, like.
But no, not the logic. No.
So that part we have to deduce it after covering two books.
The logic is, I'm giving you the logic because I've
Oh,
taught this
okay.
for like 25 years or whatever,
Okay.
right? And I worked for the company for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So I understand how the program was developed. You know, that's hopefully to help you when you're taking your tests.
Mhm.
Whereas you wouldn't, it's not in the book that says, oh, okay, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
All right, so in this menu though, you do have a bunch of options dealing with the click track. The one I usually change is the count off. I usually like to have 2 bars of count off. That gets me prepared to record. 1 bar is usually not enough for me. And then here you can also change the click track, where it's coming from. So if you wanted to have like an external synthesizer be your click track, like one of these synthesizers that we have up here, then I can look that up under the output section and then look at to what's connected to my computer as far as MIDI devices, choose a MIDI channel, and then I would choose a note that I want to be my metronome. Okay, so if you can't stand the metronome in Pro Tools, you can trigger another instrument to be your metronome if you'd like. That's what this is pretty much all about, and then setting that count off. Usually I like 2 bars. Now, there is another way to change that click sound. What is that?
Sine wave. Put
Listening
sine
to
wave.
Renaissance music will change the click track.
Put like a sine wave. Make it with a sine wave or something.
Yeah, you can make have a different sound, but how can you change that? That's the question. Anyone can figure it out?
Is it on the grid? I don't know.
Think about the click.
Right,
Like, what is triggering the sound for the click track?
the grid, isn't it? Oh, the per second.
Hmm?
Per second beat?
But something. What is creating the actual audio that you hear? That's the question.
I hear
Aux
my
track.
arrow on the track.
It's an aux track.
Yeah, it's definitely coming through the track. But what is doing it?
This, if you click on it, there's like a sine wave something. You can click on the click. It will come out the menu where you can change stuff.
Okay, so the actual plugin, right? Remember, it's when you create a click track, it's an auxiliary track is
Yes.
created with a click plugin on it. So this is the easiest way to change the sound. Open the plugin up,
Oh, that's right.
and then from here, you can change whatever kind of sound that you prefer. Again, like I like the MPC one usually, or Yuri. Those are both, to me, I like those, but I mean, you guys can experiment with whatever you like. To me, I like the MPC because it doesn't have any. It doesn't have a pitch to it. It doesn't like have, it's just this beat that you can feel. You guys know what the MPC is?
Yeah.
It is a
Machine, like a drum machine.
drum machine, yeah. So this was taken from that. But there's a few options. Okay, so there you go. If you want, if your the click sound is driving you crazy after a while, you could switch it up. It can help. All right, now let's talk about some of the rulers that we have, and which one is going to be dealing with tempo, do you think?
The rulers?
Yeah.
Are we still talking about click track?
Yes.
What is the ruler?
Rulers are these things.
Oh, the tempo? Oh, you click that drop down and choose.
Okay, so we're going to look at the tempo ruler now, right? To adjust
No,
the tempo.
what's the question? Oh, to adjust the clicker. No, you open that window and change it there, BPM.
So we're going to use this tempo ruler to help us change tempo.
Oh,
If you need a tempo change, okay? So let's go ahead and
oh, you mean
Right
tempo
now,
change in the.
right now we're in what mode?
Conductor track.
Conductor track is on. Okay.
Conductor.
Now, what is the difference when this conductor is off?
It shows you the tempo, like the BPM.
On and off.
No counter.
How does this change? Let's see. I'm going to play it. Sounds the same to me, right? So what does the conductor track or the conductor allow you to do that the non-conductor? Amelia. That's right.
Oh, milliseconds.
So when you have the conductor off, you have, let's say I put this at 100 beats per minute. I just type it. It's going to run at 100 beats per minute forever. I can't change that. I can't speed it up a little bit in part of the song, slow it down in part of the song. It's 100, okay? Now when I switch over to the conductor track, you'll notice that it held the original tempo, which was 120.
120.
Right? So you can actually, this is a way, if you want to test between two different tempos, which you prefer, is there's that, and then there's that.
Okay.
So you can actually have your song and test between two different tempos by putting one tempo on the conductor track and then the other tempo on just the flat non-conductor. Okay. Now, I think I'm gonna actually change my click track back to the annoying one really quick, so you guys can hear it better over the.
You can use the tick on top.
And maybe I'll use the cowbell is good.
Yeah.
Let's use the cowbell. That's really obvious. Okay, that's obvious. All right. No Renaissance music is gonna stop that. All right. Now, let's look a little bit more. We talked about without the conductor track or with it on, you can do the tap tempo. We're pressing T to set our tempo, right? T, whatever tempo you want. Okay. Now, let's put the conductor on. And let's put in some tempo changes. So the first way you can do this is just choose where you want a tempo change to happen. Just click. I just clicked on measure 8, something, kind of by measure 8. And I hit the plus button here. This will add in a tempo change. Okay, there I can put in, I wanted to change to 150 beats per minute at this point. Now, it says location. I didn't click exactly on the beginning of a measure. For a tempo change, you always want it to be like at the very beginning of a measure. So, but it has this option of snap to bar. So this tempo change will snap to the closest bar, which would be measure what?
What?
Yeah, when I have this snap to bar on, where will my tempo change be in this example?
Measure 8 beat 4.
It would be, what do you think?
Bar 9.
Either bar 8 or bar 9, right? And most likely, which one do you think is closer?
9.
Bar 9, yeah. That's where it's gonna end up putting it, because that's the closest bar to this location. And how do you read this location? It is
8 bars.
bar 8,
Bar
or
8,
measure 8,
beat 4.
beat 4, and then what were these called?
Not no, it's not samples. Clicks.
Hmm?
Clicks.
Close.
Ticks.
Ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 480 ticks. Okay. And how many ticks are there in a beat?
And 160.
Close.
And 168.
Wait,
120?
Like 900 something.
Oh, 160?
900,
960.
60.
60.
I said that.
Oh, I thought you said 860.
No, 960.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
how much more?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, good. So this would be like in the middle of that beat, like, so this would be an eighth note, basically. But I'm snapping it to the bar, which you definitely want with the tempo change. So it should appear in bar 9. That's the closest bar. Okay, there it is. So now when I play it from the beginning, you're gonna have the 4, close that. I should have done it earlier.
It's all right.
There, that's what speeds up. And this is indeed bar 9 right here. Okay. Now, you can, if that wasn't the right spot, you can click this and drag it to
Nice.
where you want it to be. So maybe you want it at bar 5. You can move it to that point. Or measure 4, wherever you'd like. Okay. So it's quite easy to add these tempo changes. You're basically just hitting the plus button. Usually what I do is I'll click where I want the tempo change to be and then just hit the plus button here. But you can also hit the plus button first and then just tell Pro Tools exactly where you want it. Oh, I want it to measure 8. It needs to be 170 beats per minute, 180. You can just type all that information. So now I'll have a gradual increase in tempo when it hits each spot. And then comes 180. Okay. And then I can always go back to hear my conductor version, which is that flat tempo. If I want, I can always go back to that and test it, and then go back to the conductor and see what that looks like. Okay? Tempo? Very good? All right, now,
And how you erase that?
yeah, all you have to do is hit Option.
Mm-hmm.
If you hold down Option right over one of these, you see that little minus,
Mm-hmm.
then you can delete it.
Um,
So I'll just click, and you just click it then. So holding Option, hover, and then you'll be able to delete it. Okay,
Just like mine is not setting the tempo change. When I click plus button, nothing happens.
well, just make sure you have a selection.
Oh,
Make
I
sure you
see.
can
I need to be in
everything.
conductor track mode. to
Gotta be in the conductor.
mm-hmm.
Then the other way to do this is to open up the tempo so you can see it better. So if you click the triangle here, now you can kind of see the tempo changes a little bit more clearly. And now you can write in tempo changes if you'd like. Ooh, bless you. So you can use some of these tools here. You can use a freehand, a line tool, triangle. Well, the triangle won't work. But you can use freehand or line. It's kind of hard to draw it in freehand, but if you want to try to draw in like a tempo change, you would draw it in like that.
Oh, how do you do freehand? Oh, just a pencil.
Yeah, you just click on the pencil. Okay, so that's gonna follow your drawing. And then if you want a little bit more accuracy, I think that the line tool is probably the better of the two. You click and then you, oh, I don't wanna go that fast. You click and then you drop it into, you know, wherever you like. It's a bit easier to use. The line tool I think is a little easier to use with the tempo. Okay. I'm gonna give you guys a minute to test these things out. Take a minute, just try it out. Oh, by the way, if you need to erase any of these or some of these or a section, I just turn the smart tool on and then just kind of use the selector to choose the section you want to delete and then just hit delete and it'll delete those tempo changes.
Oh,
So
Okay,
take,
okay.
something happened to mine.
take a couple minutes and try it out.
It doesn't come out as big as yours. It used to be like green and big here, but now it's just small. Like I tried to use line tool and make it bigger. I started from the bottom and just it shrank.
Yeah, it could be over here where you got to go up or down or plus and minus. I don't know if you pressed any of that.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. Wow, it's a cool tool. It's good to do to make like cinematic music when you write the yeah when somebody does boom boom creeping
Yeah. Tempo changes are good.
powerful thing.
Is there a way that Pro Tools can detect the tempo of whatever song or something that you put into it? Like how to detect them? Like the BPM?
Yuna had a good question. He's asking, is there any way you can, if you had a song, can you get the exact tempo from that song into Pro Tools, basically?
Yeah.
There is a way.
There's not a way.
There is
I think you showed us
There is a manual way.
tapping, right?
There is a-
Tapping, right?
Yeah, so you
Sure.
have to, if you wanted to do that, you're gonna have to do the tap tempo to get as close as you can,
Yeah.
and then see if you can lock it into perfect tempo. That's the easiest way. If most songs nowadays are recorded to a click track, so they're in perfect tempo pretty much. So if you can do that, then you can find the tempo, and it's always going to be 95, 96. Like it won't be 95.005. It's going to be an even number of that.
Yeah.
So use the tap tempo to find that. But then the second way, there is a way to make a tempo map of a song. So if you find out that the song is not at one tempo the whole time, you can create a tempo map in Pro Tools. That's a little bit more advanced. Like maybe that's something I touch on maybe a little bit in a couple weeks. But you can map out with what we call identify beat, all of the beats to the song, and then you create this tempo map. And then when you start playing like synthesizer parts or any MIDI parts, you can still quantize to that tempo, even though it's fluctuating, it will still quantize to it. But you've got to manually do that, unfortunately. I can show you how to do that, maybe not today, but
That would be cool.
Because in FL, I can do that.
Oh man.
And even quantize is a shortcut for that. Like Ctrl Q and you just get it.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a nice feature to have. Okay, so that's your tempo. Now, if you need more control than that, more like exact control, then we can use some of the menu items. So let me just delete a few of these. Well, I guess I'll just leave it there. Let's go like that. Delete. All right, so so you guys know, under the event menu here, you see there's time and then there's tempo operations. So we would be using the tempo operations. So in the tempo operations window, we can choose linear, constant, all of these types of tempo changes. So most likely you would be using constant. And if you have the advanced off, then you're just telling Pro Tools, okay, I want from measure 1 to measure 8, I want the tempo to be 90 beats per minute or 100 beats per minute. Okay, and then you apply, and it'll do that. So just simple tempo change, but you don't want to draw in anything. You can use this menu. Now the advanced part here is, if you click on that, oh, by the way, again, this is under event, tempo operations. All right, so once I click the advanced, I get this large menu here. And I can calculate the end minutes and seconds that this would be, or I can calculate what my tempo would need to be. Well, okay, so what does that mean? Let's say I wanted to have a cue that's exactly 30 seconds long. Okay, so I put in my 30 seconds here. I hit tab. And if I wanted it to be 8 measures, then it calculates for me the tempo needs to be 56 beats per minute in order to fill this exact amount of
that's
time.
Cool.
So this is, how would this be useful?
That's super cool. Excellent for movies writing for
movies,
movie
right? For
tracks.
film score,
Mhm.
for commercials, things like that, where you need
trailers.
an exact amount of time and you need to fill that
It's
time.
like, boom.
Mhm. Or your piece, you know, you've got a 16 measure piece that you want to do, and again, it needs to be exactly, you know, 30 seconds or 45 seconds or
For
whatever.
commercial, right?
For a commercial. Okay, then the tempo is 120. You don't have to figure that out,
Sweet.
right? So that's one kind of cool feature of this menu. Again, that's under advanced. And then you can also you can change the tempo. Let's say it needs to be at 110 beats per minute, and then it will tell you, you know, the time that it would be if you wanted to go that route. Usually it's the other way around. Usually you want it to calculate the tempo based upon a number of minutes and seconds that you want it to be. Okay. And then there's also the linear. So this would be the same as the pencil tool, but in line mode, where you get that even tempo change. I'm gonna uncheck the advanced one here. And so you're telling Pro Tools, oh, I wanna have a tempo change from starting at measure 1 to go to measure 4. And yeah, I wanna start at 100 beats per minute and then end up at 180. Make a perfect line to do that. And then hit apply. And then if I hit play, oh, oops, let me undo that. Try that again here. Event, tempo, all right, and linear from 100 to 180 beats per minute. We're gonna end at 4. Okay. Apply. Apply. Oh, there it is. So that you're getting this linear tempo change right there. There you go. Okay, so you can use that menu if you would like. And lastly, going back to the tempo operations window. If you click advanced, there's a number of options here for, again, if you wanted to have a certain start and end point, and you wanted this to be ending at 180 beats per minute, this is the time that it would take. Or you can calculate the end tempo that you would need it to be at in order to reach that point. So here I'm starting at 100, I want to end up at 180 beats per minute, or I just want this to be exactly 4 seconds. What tempo would I need to go to make this in 4 bars, this gradual ramp up in tempo? I would have to start at 100 beats per minute and end at 418 beats per minute, which is ridiculously fast. Right? But you
And
could
then
do that.
You choose end tempo.
End tempo for that one.
And then minutes and seconds. You put it under
Yeah, you just change like how much time you want, minutes and seconds, where
End
you
tempo.
want it to end.
but it's not giving me minutes and seconds, it's only giving me
You have to choose the advanced tab here.
I did.
Yeah.
It's giving me selection, samples, tempo, resolution, but not minutes and seconds.
Just choose end. Did you change it to end?
I
tempo?
did.
I'll look at yours then.
Thank you.
But so again, this is for film composers where you need a certain ramp up in tempo over a certain amount of time. It has to be a certain number of seconds, as I've seen. Okay. This would be very extreme. Something like that. Okay. Everything you wanted to know about the metronome in Pro Tools. More than what you ever wanted to know, but you can, if there's something you need to do with time or tempo, and the change of speed, you can pretty much do it in Pro Tools.
It's pretty cool. Nobody even talks about it.
Mm-hmm. With that, you guys want to take a
break?
break?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I was thinking because we don't really have a full class today. I was thinking when we come back, if you guys want, we could work on the exercises so you can get through some of those things. Let's use the time to do that, and then I'll come around and I can help you
Mm-hmm.
if you're having, some
Yes, I
problems.
have this problem
Okay.
where it doesn't, on my computer, it doesn't show minutes and seconds. I click linear, advanced, and tempo.
So let's do 20-minute break. So we're gonna come back at